Hello everyone and welcome back to more Seduce Me to the Demon War. Oh my god, okay. FYI, just so you know, I'm still salty. I am still hella salty because of what happened the last episode. I'm not even sure. Like, I left off on the last episode and I thought I thought the recording was like around an hour, but it was like around like 56 minutes or so. But it's like close to an hour, but like usually I like to go to the hour mark exactly, or like a little bit over, like an hour and a half. But anyways, whatever. I think this is gonna take a little longer, so I'm gonna probably put this in a separate episode. So yeah, so last time we basically left off is when we came back to our room after having a heart-to-heart with Dana. We had some sexy time with Eric before the final battle, and so the game plan was for everyone is that all the strong soldiers would be up in the front, and Dana would head directly towards the Demon Lord to like beat the shit out of him. And for us, since we have to be there when it happens, us and Eric had to go to a side route through like the tree lines in the forest and stuff like that to get to the castle. And yeah, that was the plan, is that all the diversions, all the distractions of the war would be in the main kind of pathway, while we go to the side path so that we have less contact with enemies and we get a straight route towards the castle where we need to be. So we arrive at the castle. Diana's well on her way to beating the shit out of the Demon Lord. We just kind of stood there for half the battle until Eric decides to make it a tag team battle. And so he steps in, they manage to beat the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord's killed, and we're like, okay, cool, this is all done and over, and like, Hannah's released from the curse that the Demon Lord placed on her. But then, fucking the little spirit orb shows up, and turns out, of course, we should have figured, or should have like been the obvious hint, is that, yeah, the little spirit that was possessing us turns out to be Diana's unborn sister, named Orabelle, because she's an orb. Because she's a fucking orb. Anyways, I thought that, you know, well, first of all, I thought that this was going a little too well, that the Demon Lord is dead now and all is well and shit, and then now she has this happy reunion with, like, Diana has this happy reunion with her, like, little sister. But, like, the thing is that, you know, it's a little too easy. That's why I was thinking, like, some shit's gonna go down, and it did, because Orabelle still has some salty feelings and is still really angry, so she decides to possess the Demon Lord's corpse and decides to attack Diana because she obviously thinks that it's all Diana's fault that the Demon Lord killed her and is now using her. Like, she was being used by the Demon Lord to find Hannah, to possess her, and that was what her role was. So I'm pretty sure, I think, like, she, even though she doesn't mean to, but like she was forced to by the Demon Lord, she's still like mad about that. And, you know, Diana promised her that she would protect her, but because things didn't work out the way they did, then yeah, that's why she ended up getting killed. And she's still really mad about it. She didn't really understand that, you know, this is all due to some, you know, unchangeable force that cannot be, you know, that, you know, there is no going against. So Orabelle possesses the Demon Lord's corpse, reanimates him, and then takes a fucking sword and stabs us and kills us off. Yeah, basically. And we got our first ending with Eric's route, which was called You Hurt Me, So I'll Hurt You. And I looked up the guide afterwards because I was hella salty. I was really, really hella salty. So I found out that the choices that we make with Eric gives us points. And depending on the amount of points, will determine the ending that we get. So the ending that I got was You Hurt Me and I'll Hurt You was that I got less than 7 points, and the max points that you can get with him is 8, and that's how you get the best ending out of him. So I was there. I was probably there, and I found out like where I went wrong was the last part where Eric was in our dream and he was duking it out with the spirit, and we decided not to step in. So that's why I lost points there. But other than that, like, for the most part, all my choices gave us points. Just to be sure that I don't want to like fuck things over and shit, I decided to kind of go back and only change 2 of my answers. So I'm gonna keep the rest of it the same. The only choices that I'm gonna change is the first one, which is right before, after Dana told us gave us a tip on how to prevent the spirit from contacting us in our dream, is to drain our energy, so we would train for the majority of the day to waste our energy, and then whatever remaining energy left by the end of the day, we would give it to Eric somehow. Before that, I chose not to do it because I was trying to make friends with it. Like, can you really blame me? So I decided not to do that. So it said that according to the guide, the official guide, is that by choosing to give our energy to Eric somehow would give us a point. So I think that would be to our benefit. And then afterwards, I would also change obviously the answer, where instead of just not stepping in when Eric was attacking the spirit, we would go with the opposite, which is attack the spirit, which I don't understand how any difference it would make. But anyways, whatever, as long as I don't lose points, and hopefully by that we can get the best ending for Eric. And then since we kind of already unofficially kind of did end Eric's route on that last ending that I got, I'll just go back and actually get all the endings that I can with him, and then to also go back to choosing choices that I kind of want to see what would happen if I did it differently. There are some instances where I would want to, and then there are other instances where I would actually just leave it, because the other choice would probably be like really stupid in my opinion. Like, me as a person, I wouldn't choose it no matter what. So yeah, let's continue. Let's go back to here where I chose to just rest instead of giving the rest of my energy to Eric, because I wanted to befriend the spirit. God damn it. God damn. So yeah, I'm gonna do this and then see where it leads us. And then afterwards, if it's all the same, I'll skip up to the point where Eric is battling the spirit in our dream, and then step in that time. So yeah, give your energy to Eric somehow. I needed rest without bizarre dreams. The spirit needed to stop controlling me and enticing me with its emotions. Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck that. The question was how to give Eric my energy. I could easily sleep with him and give him my energy through sex, but I wanted our sex to be about the mood, not a means to an end. Exactly. So just cuddle with him, kiss him. Just cuddle. Just goddamn cuddle. I looked to Eric and stared, taking in every detail of him. Eric, hold me.
What is it?
Take me into your loving arms and just hold me. Hug me, kiss me, pull him into you. Hug me. This is strange. I should just do this. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah. Hug me, kiss me, hug me. Just hug me. Just hanajo. I needed to be held. It may have been somewhat of an excuse to give Eric energy, but it was a simple request. I wasn't in the mood for sex, but I at least wanted to be embraced by the man I loved. Yeah, hugging is nice. Feels nice. Eric smiled and positioned himself beside me, wrapping his arms around me and nuzzling my shoulders softly.
As you wish, my princess.
So cuddly. I smiled and wrapped my arms back around him. It was surprisingly a peaceful night. Yay! Good. I woke up once again alone. Okay, so this is the part where I should skip, and I'm gonna go off towards the part where it was in the dream and we're trying to expel the spirit. FYI, just in case there's any other prompts that come in between, I'm still gonna choose the same answer I did on the first run. So yeah. Okay, so we back here again, and this is the part where I told you guys where we're in the dream, we're trying to expel the spirit, and Eric stepped in, or like the spirit tried to trick us with an illusion of Eric being all gross and shit. And then so Eric, the real Eric, stepped in and he started attacking the spirit because he was pissed off at it for messing with us, fucking with us. So yeah. Last time I said let Eric keep going, and according to the guide, it gave us minus points. So yeah, I'm gonna say attack the spirit this time, and hopefully that gives us a different ending. Attack the spirit! It wouldn't give up, so I had to aggravate it as well. If making it angry would make it take control, then that was what I had to do. I charged forward, I slammed the fist into the barrier, feeling a hot burn against my skin. However, I knew that I wasn't truly injured. The spirit wouldn't dare hurt me like that. Exactly! Okay, I was like, this is really dumb to fight it hand to hand when there's some magic shit going on. But anyways, yeah, the spirit wouldn't, it's smart, so it wouldn't hurt us. What are you doing? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Eric increased the speed of his attacks, and soon our barrage on the barrier began to break through as it began to crack and fade with each punch. The spirit started to whimper. No, please. Okay, wait. My heart felt like whimpering as well, but enough was enough. I had to fix this. We could still talk it out, you know. We could still be like, okay, let's stop this nonsense and just sit down and talk. With a final attack, Eric and I landed a blow together, smashing through the barrier and impacting the spirit. To my surprise, the attack landed against what felt like a glass orb. Whoops. Whoops! My bad. As the final blow made impact with the spirit, a rush of bright light engulfed the area. As I did, I felt my form flicker and caused me to look down. Okay, so yeah. Same shit happened, except this time we attacked together instead of just letting Eric do it. So let's go skip on ahead to the point where Orabel appears again after we kill the Demon Lord and see what would happen. If I get the same bad ending, I'm gonna fucking flip a table and just shoot somebody. There we go. Okay, so Orabel, up until this point before that, Orabel picked up the sword, reforged it because Eric broke it before during the battle against the actual Demon Lord. So, in that point before, when she picks up the sword and like swings it at us, we actually get stabbed by it. Well, Eric first, and then it was us, and that was where it ended. So, finally, hallelujah, we get this part. Like, Eric, why didn't you do this in the first place? That was really fucking dumb of you. Like, you could have totally easily defended yourself, but you chose not to. I'm just saying, like, we could have all avoided being killed the first time around, but you know what, whatever. Anyways, I prepared to defend, but was blocked by the back of Eric's head and a wave of ethereal tendrils. All at once, the tendrils grabbed hold of the sword and forced it away. Good job! Around Eric's body was a deep aura of red and purple mist swirling in the air and wrapping around his summoned tendrils. As he stepped forward, Orabel surprisingly stepped back.
I won't let you hurt the one I love.
Yeah, go Bay, go! Yeah, Team Bay! With a snarl, Orabel lunged at Eric, trying to wrap her arms around him, but was pushed away by Eric's tendril. Orabel and Eric charged at one another, Orabel gripping to Eric's outstretched tendrils and began to push at each other. The wounds on the Demon Lord's body began to open and bleed further, causing it to quake as it pushed against Eric's strength. Oh, come on, it's a fucking corpse! How the hell is it still so, like, how is it still functioning? How is it still, like, holding itself together? God damn.
You won't last long in that body. Give up.
Exactly, my point exactly.
Shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up!
My goodness gracious, child. With her screams, Orabel knocked away the tendrils before her and managed to get close to Eric, but not without impaling herself on traps Eric placed around him, which caused spikes to shoot up and into the rotten body of the Demon Lord. This is really gross, okay? You're making this hell gross more than it needs to be. Disgusted at the sight and smell, Eric used his tendrils to shove Orabel off of him and towards the opposite end of the room, where Orabel slid and rolled against a marble, painting it red and black with blood. You're making a huge mess, like, everywhere. This is so unnecessary. Do you know how long it's going to take to clean that off the marble? Ugh. Quickly, Orabel jumped back up and began to howl and scream, her cries filling the room and making it quake violently. It's just a child, you know, just causing a tantrum in the middle of a tantrum. Gah. You just need to leave her alone. Just let her like tire herself out and just ignore her. I held my head, trying to block out the sound, but her cries began to fill my head with dissonant pain. Eric, in defiance, sprayed a volley of spikes at her. All landed on the target. On target. God damn it. The spikes remained in the corpse, but Orabel continued to move, desperate to fight back with everything she had. What was wrong with her? How was she able to keep going? Were spirits really that powerful? Well, the angrier they are, I assume, is the more powerful they are. And she's really angry. I quickly grabbed Diana, pulling her up to her feet, and ran to the corner of the room, needing to be in the room still to help Eric, but desperate to keep Orabel away from Diana. Orabel! Orabel, you stop this right now! Orabel, young lady, I am very upset right now, and you need to stop. You're embarrassing me. Diana began to flail and fight back, but I dug my nails into Diana's side, forcing her back with gritted teeth. Diana, move! No, yeah, move. As Diana's back hit the corner of the room, I could hear Eric release a grunt of pain, causing me to look over my shoulder to see what had happened. Eric, having knocked away a slash from Orabel's sword, unfortunately couldn't block a fist from sending Eric flying at the wall. Oh no! Eric! Are you okay? Eric's body slammed into the stone and he fell onto the ground, gasping for air and curled over himself from the pain. Eric! Oh my god, bae. I instantly rushed over and knelt at Eric's side, wrapping an armor over him as he slowly began to rise back up.
I'm fine, princess.
Are you sure? I can tag team you, you know? I shook my head and looked to Orabelle, seeing her slowly make her way towards us. I was certain that the body she was moving was drained of any blood, yet she managed to keep it moving with her own energy. It was morbidly disgusting to see, but I was forced to bear witness as it came closer to where we were. Oh my god, it's like The Walking Dead. Well, what are we going to do? Chop off the head! If this is like anything like The Walking Dead, you chop off the head. And if you find a shotgun anywhere around the room, you use that too. Eric and I looked to each other, desperate to find an answer in each other's eyes. However, one finally appeared in my mind. According to Diana, when I had Orabelle within me, I was overflowing with energy. If I was still standing, then I still had some left. There wasn't enough for me to fight, but there was enough to give to Eric to possibly help him. Okay, yeah, do this. I suddenly grabbed Eric's face and kissed him, willing my energy into his body. Eric, despite naturally accepting it, stared wide-eyed at me in surprise. Trust me. I didn't want to pass out, so I pulled away when I began to feel lightheaded. I hoped and prayed that it was enough energy to end this fight, so I smiled at Eric, nodding to him. Go get him. Finish this so we can go home. Please, I want to go home. I quickly collapsed onto my hands, panting for air. The room began to spin, but I had to shake it off. I had to see this through. Eric gazed at me before nodding and turned to Orabelle, who was halfway across the room now. Slowly, Eric rose to his feet and summoned his mob of tendrils, each dancing and waving like angry snakes in the air.
You've been in my way for long enough, spirit.
Yeah, you need to move on. Walking forward, Eric lashed out his tendrils at Orabelle, whipping and snapping at the body she was possessing and forcing it back, despite her attempts to block and force them away. Every so often, a spike would fly from Eric's ring of tendrils, piercing into Orabelle like a skewer. As Eric passed the Demon Lord's sword, he reached down and picked it up, surprisingly with ease. I could barely stand, gripping onto the wall as I watched Eric lift the sword to his side.
You possessed my wife, brought her to this world, and dared to attack her? All because of what my father did to you. Pitiful.
I mean, you know, anyone would be salty by what the Demon Lord did to them, but like, yeah, this is a little ridiculous. Orabelle let out a threatening and frightening shout, lurching forward to try and tackle Eric, but was pushed away by the Demon Lord's blade and Eric's tendrils, causing her to knock into and collapse one of the nearby pillars. Orabelle slowly rose, pushing the debris off of her before glaring hard at Eric. Eric glared back in kind before raising his father's blade up and to his side, preparing to charge forward with it to plunge into her.
I will send you to purgatory and free you from your suffering.
Yeah, you do that. With one last cry, Eric ran and thrust the Demon Lord's sword forward into Orabelle, causing her to cry out. Alright, I thought she was already in purgatory, that's why she's still in this world, even though she's dead. But okay, guess not. Guess it's more complicated than that. We really should have called an exorcist. Maybe they would have taken care of this faster. The room began to vibrate and quake, causing me to cover my head. However, Eric released the hilt of the sword and rushed back to me. A bright light filled the room, blinding Eric and I. Eric gripped onto me, trying to cover my body with his, but the white color of the flash invaded my vision. Silence slowly consumed the air as my world became blank like a canvas. Oh my god. Oh! I looked up at last to see the spirit orb bobbing up and down the air. Bobbing up and down in the air. Now don't go telling me that you were possessed too. Like, a possession within a possession. It's like I wasn't myself.
You saved me! Thank you! You freed me at last!
Alright, meh. Oh, maybe it is a possession under the possession. Like, god damn it. Orabelle. The orb spun around itself once, releasing a small giggle. It seemed overjoyed despite what had happened earlier. Had Orabelle been under some sort of corruption? Probably, that's what I said. Possession within possession.
I can finally go home!
Yay!
Orabelle.
Okay. Yeah, you can say goodbye now. This is your actual sister. I turned my head to see Diana slowly walking forward to be by my side, staring at the orb in both sadness and relief. Orabelle floated over to hover in front of Diana, a soft line of sadness in her own voice.
I'm sorry, big sister,
Aw, it's okay.
It's alright. You're free now.
Yeah, go, be free! Be free! Diana wrapped her arms around Orabelle, laying her cheek softly on the orb as it flickered a warm glow. The air was calm and the love between Diana and Orabelle seemed to hum with the orb's light. However, Diana was still alive, and I could tell that this was her final goodbye to the sister she never got to meet. It was heartwarming as well as bittersweet, but Diana deserved proper closure with the sister she grew to love.
Tell Mother and Father that I'm alright, okay?
Yes.
I will.
Go join them. Be happy, family. Oh, there we go. There's Papa, and then there's Mother. Oh my gosh. Diana and I suddenly looked into the light around us, hearing a man's voice. Orbel spun around in a circle, letting out a happy gasp.
Father? Father!
Yay! Go join them! Orbel quickly left Diana's arms and began to fly into the bright light, but stopped and spoke once more.
Take care of the world, okay? You're everyone's mother now, sister.
Yes, indeed. Oh man. Diana grinned and chuckled a bit, stray tears falling down the side of her face.
I'll do my best.
Bye-bye, human!
Yeah, bye, Squirt. Nice knowing you. Bye. Yeah, I couldn't help waving as the orb finally faded away into the light. Oh my god. As the world returned me to the Great Hall, I found myself still wrapped in Eric's arms. I looked up to see him staring down at me and worried like I had passed out. I probably did. Eric, was I gone?
Love, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I feel great. I nodded. I was alright now. The battle was over and I was free to return home. Great sacrifices were made, but it was all over now. I was going home. I'm coming home. Coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Dana, who had been sitting in the corner of the room, braced her knees to her chest, taking in what had happened as well. I was positive that she was truly there with me to say goodbye to Orbel, so she had to recuperate.
Sarah.
Yeah. Oh my! At her voice, a soft flash of light pulsed in front of her before revealing Sero, out of breath. Wow!
My lady!
She's good. I saved her. I did such a good job at protecting her. Despite being out of breath, Sero quickly dropped to his knees and wrapped his arms around Diana. Ah, so cute.
I was on my way to tell you! We've won! We forced the enemy to dissolve and surrender and...
Yay! Just
Shut up.
Just hold me. Sero flinched before Diana wrapped her arms around his chest and pulled him tightly against her.
Just hold me.
Yeah, hold me. Everyone just find yourself a partner and just hold each other. Cyril stared down at Diana before nodding and embracing her, resting his head against hers comfortingly. I could barely hear soft sobbing from her, but I was glad to know that Cyril was there for her. I looked up at Eric and smiled before kissing him, relishing in the victory of the rebellion and the release of my curse. I was finally going home. I know! Like, you said it so many times, but I know how you feel. It was over. The war was finally over. Oh my god. As the smoke cleared, we were victorious. The soldiers left standing were the ones to cheer in victory. The sky became littered with the howls and cries of the joyful and happy. The tyranny of the demon lord had ended. But what now? Well, Diana's gonna be queen. We're gonna have a huge party. We're all gonna get drunk, and it's gonna be fun. Home was now possible. We could go back to the human world and we could live our lives as we wanted. It was something I desperately wanted, and yet my body was not ready to make the journey just yet. We had to celebrate the success of the war after all. Exactly, which means party! Party, people! As the full moon rose over Lilith Castle towards the dawn, the entirety of the demon world celebrated with endless drinks and food, laughter and dancing. It was so unreal, but the courtyard that I could see was filled with smiles and happy faces. Yeah! We had stayed for one more night, traveling back to the Lilith Castle to rest and return home as healthy as we could be. After all, we had just gone through a war. Exactly. One more night in the demon world wasn't going to hurt us. Hopefully. While the majority of the rebellion danced in the courtyard, I remained with the incubi and the rebel leaders, who were all in the royal hall having their own celebrations. Shots! Yeah! Beer pong! Yeah! Drinks were shared and the battle stories were exchanged, making some laugh and others roll their eyes. I found myself intrigued at the story Sergeant told about the front lines. As I looked to Diana, however, she simply kept quiet with a small smile on her face. She looked at the incubi and the rebel leaders in silence before walking away from the little party we had. As if she knew I was staring at her, Diana looked over at me and slightly gestured with her head to follow her. Alright, yay, more heart-to-heart moments. Stay put, follow. I'm gonna follow her! I'm gonna follow her and be like, yo, what's up, girl? What's up? What's up? What's happening? I followed, curious as to where she was going. I made sure to remain as quiet as I separated from the rest of the group and followed her out of the room into the hall. The entire journey, Diana didn't speak a word. Even Cyril didn't follow her, most likely being told that she wanted to speak to me alone. Diana led me through the castle, up a couple of sets of stairs, into what looked to be a royal bedroom with a balcony. Was this a guest room? It was untouched, and I could smell the very faint scent of dust. Why did she bring me here? This was probably supposed to be her little sister's room or some shit. Diana stepped into the room using her magic to ignite the candelabras. candelabras. There we go. Oh my goodness, I can't English. Candelabras and air out the room by opening the balcony window. Before I could ask, however, Dinah finally spoke up.
I have to thank you, dear.
Yeah, it's no problem. You did so much for me in return, so like, yeah. For what?
For aiding us in this war. We've been fighting the Demon Lord for so long. We thought the war would never end. As terrible as the circumstance was, if you hadn't been summoned here, we probably would have still been fighting now.
Oh no, that's what you call giving me too much credit. Diana walked to the balcony and leaned against the railing, staring into the dark night sky. The light from the room illuminated her form as she gazed at the stars. Despite the situation around us, the air seemed calm with the faint echo of the celebration whispering through the night. I walked over and stood beside her, leaning against the balcony, and looked at Diana as she smiled and let out a chuckle.
To be very honest, I didn't expect to ever see you again. After I took your energy that night, I vowed to never deal with humans again. No clairvoyance could have told me about you coming into play in this war.
Oh, yeah, I'm a bit of a wild card. Sorry about that. Yeah, just shit always happens to me, and I never expected as well. I wasn't exactly counting on coming here. Yeah, exactly. But at least I got to help bring peace here. It was good to see you again, though. I still don't want to be here. That's so funny. I still don't want to be here. No, I'm kidding. It's between these two that I feel like I should give these answers. Yeah, but at least I got to bring peace here. Diana smiled, nodded to me. I really was glad to help bring peace to a world. It wasn't out of pride or vanity. It was a matter of helping people clearly in need.
We owe you much thanks.
Oh, I'll accept your thanks when I finally get married. Haha, exactly. Are you coming to my wedding or not, girl? I'm gonna be so mad if you don't.
Oh, I had almost forgotten.
What? Are you gonna come to my wedding? For sure, right? What? I tilted my head at her. What was she talking about? Dana lifted one of her hands towards the sky and waved her hand through the air, making a soft purple mist glow around her fingers. Within seconds, the mist morphed and formed itself into a lavender-colored lily, resting peacefully between Diana's fingers. She brought it down and presented it to me with a kind gaze. Oh, is this the flower that you had he had shadow look for, and then like he just stupidly tossed it away like it's trash?
A gift, my dear.
Thank you! The wedding gift! Oh my god! A gift? I slowly took the flower out of Diana's hands and inspected it visually. It was light, but I could feel a soft glow of magic emanating from the stem and petals. The bloom reminded me of a human world lily, but something about it seemed otherworldly.
A flower known only to demons of Lilith. We call it the flower of Lilith, because these flowers were said to have been created when Lilith first appeared in the abyssal plains.
Ooh, okay, alright. Ooh. I stared at Diana, not understanding why she was giving me such a gift. She chuckled at my confusion and leaned against the railing, continuing her explanation.
It is also a flower we succubi use when we marry.
Oh, see, so it is a wedding gift. See, homegirl. Homegirl got me. What do you mean? Yeah. Diana chuckled again before she gently took the flower from my hands and tucked it behind my ear. As it settled against my ear, I felt mist circle my head and form into a flower crown of lavender lilies. The way Diana looked at me made me feel like I was in my bridal wear already. Aw, this is so cute!
A human you may be, but Lilith would have been proud to see you marrying one of her own. These flowers represent her blessing, and may only crown the worthy.
Wow, I'm so worthy. I'm worthy. Oh my god. I felt a blush run across my cheeks. This was a blessing. I slowly reached up and ran my fingers along the flower crown, adorning my head, feeling the soft petals against my fingertips. They were almost pulsing with energy. I felt both flattered and honored that a simple flower felt that I was worthy enough to crown my head. Diana let out a sigh and looked back to the sky, making me do the same. One would have expected the sky to be full of smoke or smell of war's aftermath, but the sky was clear and fresh air drifted through my nose as I inhaled. Wow, it was indeed another world, and tonight was my last night in it.
Well, you did it! Congratulations! You've made it to the end of your story. I have to say, I am very surprised at how it turned out.
Oh yeah? Because I totally fucked up the first time round. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's just pretend that that didn't happen. Okay, yeah, I'm so good at this game, you guys.
Nevertheless, I'm glad things worked out in the end. whether it was for the better or otherwise.
Alright. Yeah, okay.
I mean, who would have thought that Diana's own sister was the one that brought you to the demon world? It's a small universe, isn't it?
Well, kind of, sort of. Well, it was hinted to me halfway through the story, so yeah.
However, your love came through in the end. With your strength, Eric was finally able to defeat Orabelle and send her to the afterlife, where she belonged.
Indeed. Now she's at peace and she's with her family now.
Anyways, you've been through a lot, so why don't we skip to...
Skip to what?
Huh? You want to know what happened after the war? Well, I mean, I guess I could tell you.
Okay, tell me then. Tell me. Was my wedding bomb is all I want to know.
After the war was finished, the entire rebellion celebrated. Word spread far and wide about the rebellion's success, and soon every kingdom in the abyssal plains had become united with the new authority.
Okay, is it a democracy?
You would think demons would be more hostile towards each other, being demons and all, but the threat of the Demon Lord was what brought the entire world together.
Uh-huh.
The entire world united under one banner, the Lilith Crest. Diana became the sovereign of the entire plane, accepted and loved by practically everyone because of her devotion to the world and her bravery in the war.
Well, duh, who would love Diana, okay? She's homegirl.
Sero, as devoted as ever, remained by her side as her loyal bodyguard.
Of course. I wouldn't expect anything less of him. Well, I'm just now waiting for their wedding.
Diana became one of the most beloved rulers in all of Demon World history. Her natural heart of gold led her to lead the world to a prosperous future, one filled with peace and happiness.
Oh, that's good on her. Good on her.
The other rebel leaders supported her, eventually changing the caste system of the world and slowly working their way towards a plane as equal and peaceful as it could be.
So, a democracy. I feel a democracy can work really well.
Diana had her suspicions, of course, as any monarch would, but if they had any sort of bad thoughts about her before, they certainly didn't during the recreation of the world.
Okay.
And I believe that is everything that happened after, well, except for your story anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Eric and you returned home, and since everything was taken care of before he found you, you got ready for the actual wedding.
Yes! Finally!
Huh? How do I know? Well, I have my ways. Maybe you should check it out.
Check what out? Are we gonna go to the wedding? We're gonna do a party? We're gonna go party! Party! Or, wait, what? Where are we going? Okay, hey! Now that I was unhindered by a spirit I couldn't control, I was able to finally move on and say yes to Eric with every ounce of my heart in our wedding vows. My entire being became light as I watched his expression melt into endless joy at my vows to him. Yeah, our kiss was as magical as a fairy tale prince and princess kiss, glowing in positive and hopeful energy as the people who watched cheered in congratulations. I could go on and on about the wedding and the honeymoon, but honestly, after the war, I was more concerned of living my life afterwards. Yeah, I know, right? Jesus. Our lives escalated to new heights after we officially became husband and wife. Eric started a chain of sweet shops. That would have been great too. Eric started a chain of suit shops and had become a very powerful man in fashion business industry. Ooh, my hubby's so fashionable. It was rather hilarious to see him squirt up James every fitting he needed with a smirk of equal standing to his once upper tier brother. Yeah. As for me, I began to go through my own success in life, dedicating myself to becoming exactly what I wanted to be. After all, my husband had made a name for himself in the fashion world. If I put the same amount of work in as I did in the demon world, then I was going to be okay. However, there was never a day that went by that I didn't think about what was happening in the abyssal plains. It was a heavy chapter of my life, one that tested the love between me and Eric, because the spirit was cock-blocking us. But I had faith, okay? I was strong. To think that I was under the influence of a child who needed to be set free still astounded me to no end. For a moment, I myself almost believed that I was pregnant instead. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. I know, right? We were all fooled. God damn, like I said, we were a different kind of P-word. We weren't pregnant, but we were possessed. Still, I was confident that we would get through it and stay together no matter what came our way. Demon, devil, spirit, it didn't matter to us. We were unstoppable together. Exactly. So when times is rough and you think that you can't do anything more, just remember that a spirit had possessed you, but you expelled it. So yeah. The faint memory of our own power slightly tingled through me every time I grew confident, eagerly reminding me that I had strength of my own. I would never let anyone come between me and Eric ever again. Yes, the thought of it all echoed in my mind as I sat in bed, looking up at the ceiling with a wide smile on my face. Despite the dangers being real, the war was an adventure, fun to look back upon in my memories. Yeah, should've took pictures while you were at it. Made a little scrapbook and a little album. I took in a breath and let out a sigh, leaning back against the bedpost and closing my eyes. I was at peace and everything was alright.
Princess?
Oh, hey Eric. You look nice in the morning. Oh, I opened my eyes at the sound of my pet name, looking up to see Eric at the door, smiling at me and holding a plate of food. Unlike the demon world, this world had the making of pastries, eggs, bacon, and sausage, and other delicious concoctions made for the early morning. Bacon! Oh my god, bacon! As I took in the sight of all of my favorite foods on the plate in Eric's hand, I licked my lips and let out a happy hum. Oh my god, I don't know whether I'm happy to see you or the food, or maybe both. Hey, that looks delicious. You look delicious.
And it's all for you.
Aw, you shouldn't have. I was squealing internally, feeling a bit spoiled at the treatment he was giving me. As he walked over and sat on the edge of the bed, Eric handed me the plate and watched as I accepted it and took a bite of what he offered, groaning at the amazing taste. With a smile, I took some of it onto the fork that was on the plate and offered it to Eric, seeing him stare at me in slight surprise before smiling and taking the bite, licking his lips after. Thank you, Eric. You spoil me.
Anything for you, my sweet princess.
Bah. I giggled at the name, nuzzling Eric's hand as he came up to caress my cheek lovingly. His hands were always so soft and warm, perfect to hold me and make me feel loved and safe. I opened an eye to look at him cutely, seeing him blush with a smile of his own.
I would happily do anything for you.
Bah, you're so loyal to me. Ha ha ha. Anything? Anything? Would you rob a bank with me? Kidding.
Anything. Just name it.
Nah, I'll think about it. Yeah. I cupped his hand and gently placed a kiss over his palm, feeling him stare in surprise at the gesture. I could almost hear the blush on his face intensifying before I even looked back at him to confirm it. He was red as an apple. Perfect. I giggled again and nuzzled his hand, almost laying my head on it. Be with me forever and ever and ever. Forever and ever. It took a small cute moment for Eric to regain his composure before nodding, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear.
Forever and always.
Bah. Hold me every day and every night. Well, not literally, but you know, you get what I mean.
As close as I can hold you to me.
Aww. Sweet waves of joy rushed through me every answer he gave, confirming his devotion and love for me. I was so lucky to have him as my own, and I could tell that he believed himself to be the lucky one. In honesty, we were both the lucky ones, perfectly blending together and devoting ourselves to each other without second thoughts. We proved it in the demon world, and we would prove it for the rest of our lives. I gently pulled Eric towards me, moving the plate between us to the nightstand, smiling as he came close before capturing his lips with mine in a loving kiss. He was definitely surprised, but it wasn't long before he began to kiss back just as passionately. The gentle taste of roses and rain always made me feel at peace, and I always managed to find it on Eric's lips. He was my perfect prince, and I was his loving princess. Our mansion was a castle, and the human world was our kingdom to explore. What story could have been better, right? As we gently pulled away, we gazed into each other's eyes, becoming lost in them. All I could see is his purple irises were waves of love and care, filling my heart with everlasting peace. I began to wonder what he saw in my eyes. Whatever it was, he became entranced and could do nothing but wrap his free arms around me, pulling me to him, lovingly.
Everything in my life belongs to you. My heart, my body, my soul, everything. I swear to give you everything I am, and love you until the end of time. Nothing will tear me away from you.
Bah. Well, yeah, point proven because we went through a war together, so I believe it. Eric, come here, you. With a tender kiss on my forehead, Eric's expression softened to a gaze of deep love.
I love you, princess. I love you so much.
So much love. Lovingly, love, so lovingly. I believed every word to let his words embed themselves into my heart, and I would remember them forever. As Eric kissed me again, locking lips with mine, he sealed his words. I would love him and continue to hold him close for the rest of my life. Nothing would be able to tear me away from him any longer. And that was my perfect happily ever after. Ah, so cute. Hopelessly devoted to you. Okay. So yeah, pretty sure the words were like they spell out like some angel password again. But yeah, anyways, there we go. Oh. That only took like another try. Jesus Christ. But thank God we only have what's it called? 3 endings with him in the guide that I looked up. So it wasn't, and again, it's not too hard to like get either the really bad ending, the mediocre one, and the best ending. So I don't mind it. As for the story, you know what? I like it. I like it so far. I like that things can take that different route where like shit goes downhill and we end up dying. Yeah, I don't mind that, even though that made me really hella salty. I can't say anything for the game overall, not yet, but I can say that I enjoyed Eric's route. I don't mind it. Now, just to see about the other guy's route. Hopefully, like I said, my only high expectation for it is that they would differentiate. They would like tailor themselves accordingly to, you know, what the demo laid out for us, you know. Like, I don't want overlapping, like, some things can overlap, sure, but not like completely like the first game in a way. So yeah, so far so good. I enjoy it. Oh, by the way, also I have to mention that the soundtracks and the OSTs and all the other instrumentals that were used throughout the games, I think they were pretty on point. Kudos to whoever was the composer. I totally missed it in the credits, but anyways, kudos. Okay, so that's the end of the credits. And a very lovely song, but at the end, what do you mean the end? Don't do that to me. No. No, I just want a peaceful life. I just want a peaceful, happily married life. Anyways, that is the end of, like, that's the good ending of Eric's route. But obviously, I told you before there was 3 endings. I got 2 of them so far, and the worst ending that you could possibly get is if your point scores with Eric is like less than 5, I think it was. I think it was less than 5. Okay, so let's fuck things up and just see what the hell happens, because obviously this is an entirely separate episode. We're gonna finish things up with Eric. I'm gonna go back to do more other choices as well, just to see what would happen, and then yeah, we end it with Eric's route, and we can start off with James's route. Yeah. Okay, so let's try this. Let's do this. Okay, so I don't want to go back too far. Let's see. How to minus points. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think I can do this by not giving Eric your energy somehow, so I'll just revert back to my original choice of just resting and sleeping, and I will, yeah, from then on forward I would just like do the opposite like choices. So from here, where are we at? Okay, yeah, so from here I'm just gonna do the original choice that I did before on the first one, which is don't and just rest, and then afterwards we're gonna do, I think the next prompt choice would be the encounter we had with the Demon Lord, except it was actually Eric and we were just hallucinating. I'm actually going to do the answer where it's don't take any chances and then continue to attack him, and then afterwards when we get back to when we get up to the point where we're gonna do the spirit expelling thing, we're gonna do the opposite choice again. So instead of comforting him, we're just gonna mentally prepare, I think. And then afterwards, in the middle of the whole like fight between the spirit in our dream with Eric, we're gonna also let Eric keep going. So yeah, and then I'll fast forward up until the point where it's probably the Demon Lord fight again, and we'll see what happens then. So the worst ending you can possibly get with Eric is if you get less than 5 points. Is if I can't live, you can't either. Oh, I wonder what that means. So anyways, let's do this. For science! Okay, here we are. We are encountering Eric disguised as the Demon Lord. And obviously it's a trick, but let's just be dumb and don't take any chances. This was a trick. The Demon Lord brought me here and I was not going to fall for it. I quickly put up my hands ready to fight. However, I wasn't allowed to react as 2 purple tentacles wrapped themselves around my wrists and gently pulled my arms down to my sides. Gah! Uh-oh.
Princess!
There we go. What? I shut my eyes trying to block him out mentally. He was pretending to be Eric. He was... No. There we go. Okay, so that happened, but whatever. Same shit happens afterwards. It's just that we get -2 points because of that choice. Obviously, like... Okay, so here we are. I'm pretty sure this is not gonna do anything. It's not gonna give us points if we say mentally prepare, but that's the point because, you know, haha, point, puns. Anyways, yeah, that's the point because we want to get less than 5 points in order to get the worst endings. The worst ending with Eric's route. Okay, mentally prepare. I had to mentally prepare. I closed my eyes and took a fefew breaths before looking to Diana. I'm ready. Okay, so we just skipped out on the whole part where we comforted Eric. Okay, let's skip. Oh yeah, just a reminder, or just like to point it out, you guys. I'm doing all the same choices that were in between, so none of the important choices that were listed in the guide. So say like talking to the spirit and stuff like that. I'm doing the same choices I did on my first run. So yeah, just letting you guys know, just so you guys don't get confused. But either way, if I did do something different, for sure I would have showed you guys. So yeah, there we go. So let's just let Eric keep going. And yeah, this should be enough to give us the bad ending. So I'm gonna skip on ahead and see where that takes us. What's gonna happen? Okay, so I thought, that we were gonna skip all the way to the Demon Lord fight, but no, we're here. We're still in our dream. So after the spirit is all like was yelling and shit and was like and then so we were in this. Everything goes white. And we're starting to fade, and then Eric runs over to us, and then I guess something's gonna go bad because instead of like preventing us from fading away, we're probably gonna fade away because yeah. So I looked up to see Eric rushing for me, panic written all over his face. What was happening? I began to run for him, but felt my body move in the opposite direction, drawing me further away from the one I loved. Uh-oh. This isn't good. Eric! Uh-oh. Fading! Why couldn't I get closer? Uh-oh. Soon Eric vanished from my sight and I became lost in white light. I felt weightless and my sense no longer worked. I was trapped. I could only just barely feel myself shed tears from how frightened I was. What was happening? I'm pretty sure it's the spirit. The spirit's like, you're going down with me.
She's gone.
Oh. Yep, there I go.
What?
Oops.
What happened?
I'm dead.
Eric, where is she?
I'm dead.
No! Love! Get up! Wake up!
Nope, I apparently got swallowed up by the spirit because, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, indeed. Holy shit.
Damien, the spirit?
It's gone too.
Gone too.
Yep.
Oh no! No, this can't be! No!
Oh well, oh shit.
What did the spirit do?
It probably took us down with us because it's like, yeah, if I'm going down, you're going down with me.
It sacrificed itself and took her with it. That body has no soul.
I'm dead. I am dead.
No!
Yep, sorry. And if I can't live, you can't either. There we go. That was really quick and easy. Shit. Anyways, there we go. If I can't live, you can't either. So that is that. Wow, I thought it was gonna drag on to like, a little bit further, but yeah, it makes sense. Anyways, since that was so fast and easy to get done, we can do the other choices that I said I wanted to make and see where that kind of leads us. So, first one that I wanted to see was. I'm gonna try to do this in like chronological order so like things don't get mixed up. Where am I? Who am I? What is it? Where was this? I can't even remember. I think it was okay. I think it was up until this point where where, blah, 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 blah. I think we did try to get to know it, right? Like, we said sorry to it, and we tried to, like, I have no fucking clue. I can't tell by these thumbnails. Okay, that's what asking about the kids. That was something with Diana. Okay, I think this is the one part where we were being curious and nosy, and we wanted to know about the flower that Diana got mad over that Shadow threw away. So we pressed the question, and if we pressed the question, as you all seen, he would be like, you know, I'ma stop training you because I'm a little bitch. So let's just be obedient and just be like, yes sir. It was better not to question it for now. I would learn eventually, but if Shadow wasn't going to tell me now, there was no way I would be able to force an answer out. Shadow looked to me, observing me for a moment before nodding and turning from the table.
Well then, shall we begin?
Alright, yeah. I nodded, prepared to face whatever he had in store for me. What took me off guard was someone coming up suddenly behind me and placing a knife at my throat. Hey! What?
Dead.
Come on, I'm just a newbie. I'm a newbie, goddammit. I froze. What does she mean? Shadow crossed his arms, raising an eyebrow.
Shama, a little too early.
I know, right? God, give me some time to adjust to, you know, reacting fast enough. As the person released me and moved the knife away from my throat, I turned with a hard glare to see the cloaked woman who had been talking to Diana before. She obediently looked to Shadow.
I apologize, sir.
Alright.
Back to your place.
Yeah, shoo. Shama bowed and quickly formed herself into a shadow, fading into the ground. I instinctively began to follow suit, but Shadow cleared his throat.
Pay no mind to that.
Alright, I won't take offense to it. No, you can't just say that. What was that? I had a knife held to my throat without any warning. I was not prepared, and while that may have been some messed up point about war and not being prepared, Shadow was watching and could have stopped it. The only thing that ran through my mind was how my body suddenly became filled with adrenaline. Shadow stared blankly at the question and at me.
A misfired trap. Shama is meant to surprise attack you after I teach you your next lesson. Obviously there was a miscalculation, but that'll be fixed and done properly after the lesson is given.
Ugh, oh my god, you need to be a little more organized. Jeez. I understood wanting to be ready the next time it happened, but something caught my attention, drawing my focus away from his words. What? As I stared at Shadow, I faintly noticed his hair swaying slightly in the air on his head. What the? There was no wind in the room. How was it moving? I focused my attention on his hair, wondering what it was doing, as Shadow raised an eyebrow at me.
What are you staring at?
Your hair is moving and there's no wind, sir. I shook my head and avoided it. Why was I so focused on his hair? It was hair, but it was moving hair where there's no wind. As I thought that, however, his ponytail suddenly began to move, while a hand tapping its fingers on Shadow's shoulder and on his waist. Whoa! What? I jumped back, pointing at his hair and earning a smug smile from Shadow. Why is your hair doing that? That's creepy. As Shadow suddenly glared at me, I tensed up.
Are you more interested in the hair or in your training?
I'm just saying, like, your hair is doing some weird creepy shit. But I kept my mouth shut. I wasn't going to get anywhere by getting distracted, just like with my curiosity with Diana. This was another lesson than Shadow was teaching me properly. Okay. Still, my curiosity pecked wildly at me, wanting me to desperately ask about it. Ask? Don't. Oh shit, you're trying to tempt me. You're trying to tempt me to, like, freaking having him blow me off. I want to actually become one with the Shadow. Okay, don't ask. I'm gonna say don't ask, and then afterwards maybe I'll ask. Maybe he'll probably blow me off too. He'll be like, why are you so interested in it? Okay, I don't feel like teaching you anymore. Bye. Okay, don't. As I stared at his hair, I could feel something frightening coil around my nerves. I didn't want to ask. It was better not to. Sorry, I'll pay attention. Shadow nodded, rolling his shoulders and forming a pure black dagger in his hand. As he looked at me, I understood what he wanted me to do. Having watched his hand carefully, he was not one to actually talk me through anything. I know. I focused on my hand, trying to imagine a dagger forming within it. I rounded my hand to form a shadow across my palm, knowing that I needed the darkness to help give it shape. Slowly but eventually, the hilt of a dagger formed in my hand, allowing me to grasp it. There we go. There, I did it. Aren't I so, like, freaking talented in this art? Huh? The blade quickly jutted out of the end, finally completing its formation before I lowered it to my side and looked up at Shadow.
Become aware of your surroundings. Your opponent is using the shadow plane, so you're at a disadvantage. but you can still defend yourself, as long as you pay attention.
I know. I am paying attention. I got distracted by hair. I'm aware of your hair moving. That was my attention. That was why my attention was so important. I mentally wanted to slap myself for letting my curiosity take hold of me. Now was not the time to mope, however, I had to focus. Focus! I nodded before looking around, trying to figure out how I was going to find Shama and defend myself before she got to me and killed me. I wasn't sure how shadows got around in the other plane, but I was going to find out. Shadows, yeah, whatever. I looked to the ground, not seeing anything pass by me, then looked to the light sources. If I remembered anything from the day before, it was that you needed to control the light to distract your target or protect your shadows from being used. I held my breath, trying to focus on the lights versus hearing my breathing whisper through the room. I wasn't going to let her take advantage of me. Yeah. Suddenly, I faintly hear a flame whip to the side, causing me to turn and see Shama rushing at me with her knife. I quickly parried, pushing her back. There we go. See, I ain't no little bitch.
Good. Again.
Oh, okay, fine. As quickly as she'd come, Shama vanished once again to hide. I could tell I was going to get a workout. Soon enough, she began to attack in plain sight, turned the room dark, even used my shadow against me. I had to maneuver around it all. Oh my god. I continued to fend off her attacks for the entire day until I was excused to my room for the night. Jesus Christ. Alright, okay, so the skip button's allowing me to skip because it's the same dialogue, so now what? Now that I still have my sensei interested in my training and shit, now what? Okay, while we're here, I chose to give Eric some of my energy somehow, and since we said hug me last time, let's say kiss me. Just, for science. Kiss me. Eric seemed confused for a brief moment and eventually smiled, crawling towards me. I leaned forward and smiled at Eric's lips, gently pressed against mine. He tasted absolutely sweet against my lips. Oh, there goes the sexy time. We're getting some sexy time. Wow, I didn't even mean for that to happen. Alright. It was almost intoxicating, the kiss he was bringing me under. I found that to not be fair from him, being that he was naturally an incubus with the ability to make me swoon. But every time he kissed me or just his ravishment on me made me forget the unfairness of the situation and allowed me to simply melt into the moment. I wrapped my arms around him and pulled him close to me, causing us to fall back onto the bed with him over top of me. Slowly, everything became just about Eric and his love, letting me melt into the sensation we were exchanging. Eric, however, took the moment to pull away softly and stare down at me, looking for permission to continue in my eyes. I knew what I was getting into, so I smiled and pulled myself back down to capture his lips again. It was sweet to know how considerate he was about the situation, but I was okay. Of course I'm okay. I let myself go into the moment, closing my eyes and wrapping my legs around Eric. He seemed to get the picture, wrapping an arms around my arched back and scooting us up to lay with my head in the pillows. Oh my goodness. Our kiss only intensified as Eric slowly gripped my hips and ground himself between my legs, making me let out a gasp and moan against his lips and causing him to chuckle in reply. I could feel his desire to keep going clear as day between us. Yeah. He became slow, almost tortuously so, as he began to strip himself and me down to become bare to each other. I felt the cool air rush across my skin, making me shudder beneath him. Each kiss he planted on my skin caused a ripple of pleasure to flow through me. It was hard to hold back the moans wanting to escape me, but I allowed a quiet handful out to entice Eric to do more, go further with our foreplay. Looking up at him, his eyes began to glow in a familiar gold tint, allowing the fire within my core ignite and burn heavily. I felt my mind become only filled with thoughts of Eric and screaming his name as passionately as I could. Well, not too loud because you don't want to disturb the neighbors. There are other people in this castle, just so you know. The entire castle would know exactly what... Okay, maybe she don't give a fuck. Okay, the entire castle would know exactly who was receiving my love and whose love I was taking during the night. Yeah, she don't give a shit. There wasn't a need for words to be exchanged as Eric's slow smile grew into a passionate and lustful smirk. His tongue memorized every sweet spot on my body, and he used his knowledge to make me writhe beneath him, ushering me to beg for more. My body was slowly pleading with my mind to let me release my desire and craving out so Eric could satisfy me. However, I wanted to fully give everything, and that meant taking things slow and steady. Eric seemed to understand as he slowly built our foreplay up to where we couldn't even take it anymore, and all we could think about was making love. As we finally gave in, we were both gifted with swift gasps and pleasurable moans at the sensation. I'm getting really tired. The air was hot and steamy as we panted and wrote out our love-making, becoming lost in each other's eyes as my mind began to recount everything I loved about Eric. He was devoted, delicate, but at the same time, delicate? He was delicate. I don't know if he's delicate or not, but anyways, whatever. But at the same time, he was everything my body desired. I could only imagine the same thoughts running through his mind as he captured my lips in his and swallowed my moans as they rushed out of my throat. As we apex, our fingers dug into each other, desperate to ride through our high and simmer into a gorgeously placed afterglow. Our breaths and heartbeats synced, and we were left staring deep into each other's eyes, exhausted but full of love. So much love. I love you, my prince. Sweet prince. The feelings of joy that rushed through me caused me to nuzzle into Eric's warm embrace, making him chuckle and kiss over my head despite being tired himself. Still, the aura around our bodies was perfect for a peaceful passage to sleep. And that was a peaceful night. Oh, hell yeah. So yeah, that's what happened. I guess that's what happens when we kiss. I didn't think it would escalate that quickly, but okay, whatever. So I just wonder if us continuing to do Seiro's like training and stuff would give us an advantage or would change or shift the story somehow. Not too sure, but let's see and find out. Oh, it does. Here we go. So this is after we had encountered Eric being us hallucinating that Eric was the demon lord, and then I said to calm down, and that was it. Blah blah blah. So yeah. So I guess this is afterwards. We go train the next day, or that very next after that incident in the morning. So the minute I stepped into the library, Shadow turned from his scrolls to look at me. That was a first. Was he going to greet me properly now? His raised eyebrow threw me off though, as if he wasn't expecting me. Why? What's up? I walked to the center of the space, summoning my dark dagger and becoming mentally ready for more reactionary defense training. However, Shadow raised his hand to me, causing me to relax a bit.
Your training is over.
Really? Are you graduating me? Am I graduating? Wait, what? What did he mean? I opened my mouth to protest, but Shadow held his stern gaze.
I have taught you how to defend yourself, and how to traverse a plane that renders you temporarily untouchable. That was all I was required to teach. You are free to train on your own without a mentor now.
Really? Oh right, I would have done so anyways. God damn. I felt like I was tossed into the deep end of a lake. I wasn't told anything about losing my trainer at any point. Still, I knew that what he was saying was the truth. He was right. I wasn't expected to learn how to really fight or how to beat someone. All this training was to give me the ability to defend myself. I completely forgotten about the reason I had even started. I got so into it. I would have been so into it. Still, I wanted to learn more. I felt that I was losing a golden opportunity, and I wanted to push forward to learn something extraordinary. It was one thing to duck and dodge an invisible opponent, but it was another to truly use dark magic. Shadow turned away and went back to the table.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must return to my research. We have a siege in less than 3 days, and I can't waste any more time.
That hurt a bit. I was wasting his time. I felt some part of me yell that I had wasted my own time. Why was I even here? Teach me something else, leave. Teach me something else. Teach me how to Dougie. Come on, sensei. Why are you being such an ass to me? I've been so good. Shadow looked over his shoulder, locking eyes with me. However, he didn't say anything. I could feel his gaze burn into my eyes, judging my words and my desire to learn. I wanted to know something else. I didn't want my training here to end with me going off on my own. I had only trained for 2 days, for goodness sake. I wanted more. Exactly. I need more. Shadow slowly straightened and turned to face me, crossing his arms.
Very well. I would like to see if you are able to perform a rather difficult spell.
Yes? That's what I'm talking about. Alright. He didn't totally completely blow me off. I suddenly became confused. Was it truly something powerful? I thought of 100 things he was going to teach me, but I remained at attention, listening.
The spell I'm about to teach you will become your best weapon in battle. However, it takes a large portion of energy. You may not even stay conscious after casting it. Are you prepared to try?
Hell yeah, like I said, I'm going to go big. I'm going to go home. Well, I can't go home now, so I'm going to go big. So you can't stop me or change my mind. I took a moment to consider it. While it seemed powerful, something about it seemed off. I could possibly pass out. Why would I essentially be jumping levels so fast? Was this something I should be afraid of? No, yes. Fuck this shit. I came so far, I'm gonna go do it. I wanted to know, I wanted to experience something new, and if this power was going to be, as he said, my greatest weapon, then I had nothing to lose. It would be worth the attempt. Shadow stared at me for a moment, most likely judging me like he usually did, before nodding and pointing to the wall away from the fireplace.
There.
What? Are you gonna teach me how to like jump like portals with using shadows, right? Is that it? I looked over and became lost. I saw my own shadow simply lying against the wall and flickering slightly from the firelight. What was he wanting me to do? What was he wanting me to do with it? I'm pretty sure he's gonna ask us to form like the portal. Before my eyes, my trainer's own shadow crawled up the wall beside mine, and began to peel itself off the wall. I could not believe what I was seeing. It was almost cartoon-like. Soon enough, his shadow was standing on its own in midair, away from the wall. Whoa, okay, this is even better. Oh my god. He was teaching me how to use my shadow? Kage Bushu no Jutsu! I closed my eyes, trying to focus and concentrate before looking to my shadow and attempting to will it off the wall. It wouldn't move, much to my displeasure, causing me to focus harder. It had to come off the wall somehow. Like a sticker or a band-aid. My shadow began to quake and almost shudder against the wall in defiance, making me glare hard at it. Come on, you stupid little shit. I own you. I am you. Without me, you don't exist. It shook violently before finally starting to push itself off the wall into a full 3-dimensional being. I stared as it settled onto its feet and stood at attention for me as if it were waiting for my orders. Waiting my orders. Oh, okay. Well then, yay, I got a shadow clone! Sweet! Hopefully it doesn't go rogue and attack me. This was by far one of the coolest things I've done. I know, right? Oh my god! Next level assassination. I felt my energy pulse, draining slowly to maintain the spell, and took a breath. Shadow, however, clapped his hands a couple of times. Yay! Aren't you so proud of me, Sensei?
Well done.
I know! Oh my god! I'm so cool. See, I can do this. I got this. I grinned back at him before watching him form a dark sword in his hand and passed it to his shadow with a look of confusion. But at his silence, I tried to mirror him, forming a shadowy blade in my hand the same way I had formed my dagger and passing it to my shadow. Did I do it, or am I slowly just like dying? For some reason, staring at my shadow holding a sword seemed off to me, but maybe that was because I was a human casting this magic for the first time. There were always times for first, after all, and this was definitely an impactful first. I know, right? Jeez. Shadow lifted his hand and pointed towards the door, obeying the silent command. His shadow walked over to the door and stood guard. How did it know to do that without being told? Well, you gotta use your telepathy, because it's your own shadow, so surely if you think it, then like it'll know. Of course, Shadow wasn't going to tell me. He's gonna be like, yeah, just do this. Copy me. I looked at my shadow and tried to think of what I could have it do. There were so many things, it was hard to decide. Gazing around the room, there were many places it could go. However, I became curious about the upper level of the library. So, go there! I pointed into the air at the upper balcony, feeling the need to verbalize my demand echo through my body. Go. Yeah, ha. Within a blink, my shadow crouched and leapt off the ground, almost flying through the air and grabbing onto the railing of the upper floor. I stared, jaw dropped, as it vaulted itself over the ledge and turned back to face me. Nice! Aren't you? See, I deserve another round of applause, okay, Sensei? Whoa. I looked to Shadow, seeing him give a mildly impressed smirk towards my shadow.
I'm rather shocked. It's a shame to think that you're merely a human. You'd make a fine assassin.
Hey, I could still be a pretty good assassin, even if I am human, alright? Just saying. There was a genuine compliment. I was a little bit surprised to hear him say that without some kind of insult tacked on, but I quickly shook it off. If I had learned anything from this experience, it was to not let my guard down. Luckily, I didn't. Good. I smirked as I noticed Shadow's own entity try and creep up on my shadow. In reply, I quickly shouted, "Defend!" Ha! It's like I just caught myself a Pokemon, and I'm not just, commanding it. My shadow acknowledged my command, and as if it knew where its enemy was, it turned and braced itself as my trainer's shadow tried to slice through it. Both swords clashed, causing a splash of dark matter to erupt from the impact, but as soon as it happened, Shadow dispelled his entity with a smirk of his own.
Well done. Very well done.
Yay! I made you so proud! Yay! I'm so good at this! I grinned from ear to ear, my shadow disappearing on its own. However, Shadow raised an eyebrow. Why?
Your practice is not over. Again.
What? Okay, fine. I felt another smirk grace my lips. Finally. I trained through the day, stopping every now and then when my energy was low and refueling with food and a break. I was happy to have this new ability, but he hadn't been kidding. It definitely wore me out. Yeah, I can imagine. So, entering my room, I felt heavy to think that I had attacked Eric. Oh, is this, yeah, I see the skip button being highlighted over here. So yeah, okay, so yay, we got some more shadow practice going on, and hopefully that can like help us. Maybe, I don't know, like I said, like I don't know if this whole like thing is gonna help us in the final moments of the battles, like where we get more action when we're fighting the demon lord or not. But anyway, let's just see and find out for ourselves. Okay guys, so I've actually stopped here, took a moment to pause and think, because even though I did say, or I did promise you guys that I was going to do the exact same answers as I did on my first one when I'm doing this whole extra run thing that I'm doing right now, but like, so in certain instances I would probably like kind of like stop here, maybe choose a different answer, but I had the mind that like the next thing I would try after I'm done with this is to go back and to actually accept the spirit's help. Since this is the point where I'm past that option, then I'm just gonna choose another different answer rather than the one I did for the first time. So the first time I said, but you don't belong in my body, so I'm just gonna kind of go down the list that we have going on here and just say, but we're going to kill the evil man, because it's true. Unless it's gonna like ignore me anyways. The spirit stopped bobbing in the air and pulsed a wave of energy, shaking the forest around us gently.
How can you kill the evil man?
Girl, have you seen me shadow practice lately? Like, you were in my body, you should witness this, okay? Like, I'm pretty good at this. We've been preparing for days, yeah. The spirit circled around my form in observation.
I can help you though. I really, really can.
Okay, so the skip buttons option is here again, so it's, I guess it just skips the dialogue straight. Like the first option, the first choice I did when I said, but you don't belong in my body, it just kind of skips over this that we just got, like the dialogue that we just got, and just kind of puts us here. Okay, anyways, didn't really change all that much, so whatever. So, I skipped on ahead, we did the whole exorcism thing, and then, well, it was successful. I made it so that it was successful. We got out of it in one piece. Yeah, this is where we're just kind of heading back to our room because we're really exhausted after the whole experience. But instead of going straight to our room, apparently there's some shit happening. Some shit's going down. So yeah, I began to make my way back to my room, but stopped as I heard the sound of whispered voices sneak out through a barely opened door.
So we're all in agreement?
What's this? More dirty secrets?
We have to. We don't have any choice anymore.
What do you mean? What are we talking about? What?
It will be for the better, I'm sure.
What? What's happening? What's going on?
Indeed.
What are we all agreeing to? I peeked into the room to see the interior of the library where the 4 rebel leaders stood in a circle. Sergeant leaned against the fireplace mantel while Rabbit and Shadow sat in the 2 empty chairs. Faye, however, floated to and fro from side to side in anxiousness. What were they talking about? Yeah. Is this a coup d'etat? What is this? That can't be. No coup d'etat going on here. I was so engrossed in figuring out what was happening in the room that I didn't notice a figure coming up behind me and pushing me into the room. Is this Diana? Is this Sarah? What? Gah!
Sir,
Jesus.
I found your student eavesdropping.
Uh-oh, what is this? Why does everything look so tense?
I'm not surprised.
Oh, what is going on, you guys? What is happening? I grimaced, now out in the open. The 4 stared at me with cold eyes as if they were ready to send me back to the human world as a corpse rather than going through the siege. No way, wait, them doing a coup d'etat now is not gonna make sense. How would that make sense? What? I thought everybody hated the demon lord. Unless they wanna, like, you know, what's it called? Overthrow Diana's command and then take command for themselves, like one of them at least. I looked up at all of them as I slowly rose to my feet, eyeing each leader, and as I considered running for the door. However, they each looked that I butchered that sentence. I'm sorry. Okay, let's start this again. I looked up at all of them as I slowly rose to my feet, eyeing each leader, and as I considered running for the door. However, they each looked to each other in contemplation.
Say,
You didn't hear anything, did you?
All I know is that you be plotting some shit that I don't think I'm gonna like if I hear it. No, I swear.
What was the last thing you heard?
Just a mutual agreement and some shit that you don't have a choice in. Something about something about it being for the better. Something about having no choice. I don't remember. Well, it's not like any of these choices really is gonna like out us on anything important, right? We like seriously, we haven't heard anything important. Just these two things. I think it's how something about it being for the better. Yeah. I suddenly felt the guards of each leader behind me, readying their weapons. What the hell? Were they seriously going to kill me for walking by and eavesdropping?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on, guys!
Yeah, exactly, bruh. That didn't give away anything, alright? I felt the guards back away from me slowly, most likely still cautious of me. I let out a small sigh, happy that I wasn't going to die, at least not immediately. Rabbit, however, looked to me with an ear twitching in curiosity.
Let us ask first. Do you know what has been truly happening with Diana?
Oh, okay, so what? Okay, so they actually do want to overthrow Diana's command just because the whole thing where she has this other half of her and that she could lose control of it because what happened with the muse and the suggestion shit. I looked to Rabbit knowing what she meant. Diana had been acting oddly and it was not boding well. The more I saw her, I could tell that something was seriously weighing her down or influencing her words. Oh, so this is what happens if we didn't have a heart-to-heart talk. What? Really? What? Yeah, but what does that have to do with this meeting? As I answered, the other demons looked once again at each other before Shadow stepped forward nonchalantly.
Let's not play the ignorance game. We're going to assassinate the succubus when the war is over.
No way! No way! What? Wait, I thought, like, okay, so the ending that we got, like, earlier on, the good one, is that Diana actually ends up being, like, a really well-loved leader that, like, led the entire era to peace in the demon world. What the hell? Where does this come from? What?
Oh, what the fuck?
Cause Shadow, trust me, he likes me, okay? I'm a good student.
Way to just blurt it out!
Shut up, I'm his favorite and only student.
There's no use in hiding it. We don't know how much she has heard.
Actually, I didn't hear shit. So, thanks for outing yourself out without having me, assume the worst. But actually, I already assumed what was going down anyways. I became massively confused. Why were they going to kill her? How were they even going to do it? Yes, exactly. Why? What good would come out of killing her? Yeah. Rabbit stood and walked to the fireplace, staring into the open flames. I could tell I was about to get an answer, so I listened intently, wanting to know why they were planning Diana's murder.
Diana, we fear, has become corrupted.
Well, I thought she's doing a pretty okay job at, controlling herself. I don't know. Corrupted? What do you mean?
Meaning, she's going batshit crazy like the Demon Lord!
Oh, I know she wants to kill her, like, really badly and stuff, but, like, I don't think she's gonna end up at that point. I furrowed my eyebrows. That couldn't be. She seemed mostly fine, save for a few instances here and there. Sergeant, reading my face, pushed himself off the mantel and stood up straight, reminding me of his power with his stance. Hey now.
Human, you hate the Demon Lord as much as we do, correct?
Yeah, who doesn't? I glared at Sergeant's stupid question. Of course I hated him. He had trapped me here and forced me and the ones I loved to join this war. There was no reason to even remotely like him. Exactly. At my glare, face swooped in between me and Sergeant, waving their arms frantically, yeah.
Listen, we're not trying to make you mad, but... Well,
what?
This is ridiculous.
Shadow, please. Like, can't we just work this out somehow? Shadow stood from his seat, now clearly irritated, and stepped towards me.
The succubus has gone mad, and if we don't end her life before she takes the throne, then she will become as mad as the Demon Lord. There is no saving her. Understand?
But how do you know that? Like, Dana's a pretty chill person for the most part. Like, I've seen the future. Don't do it.
Oh, come on, Shadow! Seriously?
Is there more of the diplomatic, like, way to, like, end this and to, like, solve this?
No, this is beyond unnecessary. All three of you are complicating the matter when all that needs to be stated is the truth.
Oh my god. But how can that be? How is Diana mad like the Demon Lord? Yeah, like what proof do you have other than the fact that she got really pissed at you from that one time you threw away that flower? None of this made sense. Diana seemed mostly right in her head. However, she was strong enough to lead an army and help me survive until now. She even aided the incubi. These weren't the actions of a mad woman. Yeah, exactly. Shadow rolled his eyes and went back to his seat as Faye put their hands behind their backs, swaying a bit in the air.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Here in the demon world, emotions and stuff can be uber powerful. Things like extreme grief or euphoria can even become energies on their own, while other feelings become, well, they can become very, very bad things.
Oh, okay. Very, very bad things. Okay. Like madness? Though I guess any extremes of emotions can become a bad. Alright.
Yeah. Madness is more than just a head mind thingy. Here in this world, it's like a leech or a virus. When a demon catches it, madness just grows and grows until it consumes them. Like it did with the Demon Lord.
Alright, and alright, I guess. Taking the new information in, I looked to the floor, thinking of the Demon Lord and how psychotic he said, thinking of the Demon Lord and how psychotic he was said to have become. He waged wars and apparently enjoyed burning down kingdoms and slaughtering the innocent. Yeah, that's his hobby. If that was how far madness would take a demon, then I feared for anyone who was capable of falling into it.
You can become mad in multiple ways. By being born mad or being infected by it. Diana has fought the Demon Lord head on multiple times during the past 10 years. It was inevitable that she would catch the affliction.
Okay, so... Okay, but I still don't really You can catch madness? How is that possible? Well, in truth, it can happen, like if you explain it that way, because if she is slightly really obsessed with killing the Demon Lord right at this moment, that she was willing to, take really drastic measures to do anything to ensure that he dies. So let's say like in the beginning how like we had to choose between either doing the whole sacrifice someone to like do some dark magic shit in order to like beat the Demon Lord, or to like get him where they want him to, or to also do the whole wall thing without killing anyone. And after we said the whole wall thing is a better idea, and then she was kind of like, oh fine, like she's not exactly 100% with it. So like I can understand where like you guys are coming from, but like it's like she's not, you can still work it out,
We don't know, but this wouldn't be the first time someone who used to be sane went mad because they were around another crazy demon.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. There was an uneasiness in the room. Something told me that none of them believed that was the true cause. Okay. There's more, isn't there?
Huh?
I don't know. I became bold. If Diana had to die, then there had to be a solid reason, and the madness excuse wasn't enough. Why were they planning it if none of them truly believed it? Unless you guys all agree to yourselves and be like, we should take over the command because we'd be better at it or some shit. I don't know. It's not just because she's mad, isn't it? Something else is wrong. The rebel leaders became silent, letting the tension lay in the air in plain view and giving me my answer. I was right. There was more to the story. Alright, cough it up.
Who are you to question our reasons?
Hey now, I'm part of this as much as you are, okay? So I deserve to know. Shadow stepped up to me and leaned close to my face. As I stared back into his black eyes, I could feel the world around me grow darker. He was truly a scary being, and his cold tone made me that much more afraid of him.
You're a human. You have no say in what we do here in this world.
All I'm saying is that you could just fuck yourself over by doing this whole thing. So you gotta be sure that you want to do it, because if you're wrong, then like you seriously screwed everyone over. But
we are not asking for your permission.
But my anger suddenly exploded. I was pulled into the room and being treated like dirt. I didn't appreciate it one bit, so I straightened up and got into Shadow's face. Yeah, get right in his face. I'm not asking for yours either. I just want to know. Shadow and I continued to glare at each other before Shadow scoffed and turned away, crossing his arms. Rabbit shook her head, tapping her staff on the ground.
Regardless, we can't have you remembering the conversation we had here if we are set on stopping her.
Oh my god, so you guys are gonna cast some next, like memory forgetting spell. Holy shit. Are you gonna obliviate me? I took a step back, now afraid. Were they really going to kill me? Faye sensed my fear and waved their hands wildly.
Whoa! Hey, hold on! We're not gonna hurt you or anything!
Okay, I'm pretty sure that you're just gonna cast like a memory erasing spell on me then, yeah? That was somewhat of a relief, but what were they going to do? As I took a breath, Shadow spoke up, catching my attention.
I'm curious, human. Do you believe in the succubus?
Yeah, I do, because I know it worked out in the end. What? The other rebel leaders looked to Shadow as he placed a hand on his chin in thought and peered into my eyes.
Who do you believe should rule this world? The succubus? Or one of us?
I mean, it worked out pretty well when she was ruling the world, I'm just saying, but like, if all else fails, then you can obviously try to assassinate her. Like, I'm sure you're capable of it. And suddenly I became the focal point of the entire war's resolution. Why was my opinion important? I looked at the floor trying to mull over his question and come up with an answer. And this is where I have to choose, don't I? Diana had saved my life and was doing everything to make sure I could go back to the human world as safely as possible. Still, from how she was behaving, something was indeed seriously off with her. Was she really ready to take the throne? The four rebel demons before me, however, were all smart and balanced each other out in some shape or form. I could tell that they could all bring peace to the world in some way, but did Diana really have to be eliminated for that to happen? I felt like I was standing on a precipice. I knew that if I sided with Diana, then she would eventually be eliminated by these four unless she found out beforehand. I could warn her, but what if these demons erased my memories or threatened my life? I was balancing on the edge of a knife and I had to pick a direction to fall. I closed my eyes and answered Shadow's question. Here we go. Oh my god, like I feel like this is gonna go on it's gonna go on forever. Holy shit. All right. I don't know, cause like I feel like this is going on like my episode. Like this episode is gonna go on forever. And I hadn't anticipated on it to be this long. I thought it was just gonna be really quick, me getting all the endings, me just seeing all the possible answers and all the situations I can like end myself in. But I didn't realize that I could like end up in this kind of situation. And this is like it's diverging in a whole new different path that I never expected, which is really good because I was like, damn, like there's more layers to the story arc than there's like initially that we thought. Like the whole romancing aspect of where we go through the war with Eric and like try to like get the best endings out of him, but there's other internal affairs going on here that we have unknowingly got ourselves stuck in. So I think I'm gonna leave it here. This is like the big cliffhanger questions. Obviously, now that like I realized that despite how I thought I was gonna end things with Eric's route and like maybe one other extra episode before starting the next brother's route, I'm definitely gonna go back and just gonna see all these other new possibilities that I could get with these like these question prompts. So on my list to do things to do for this like his route before ending it finishing it is to go back, do a run where I show you guys what would happen if we had accepted the spirit's help and like you know how it's offering us power and stuff. What happens if we said yes? This whole entire thing, I guess, this where like we had to choose between choose between what's it called, saying that we believe in Diana or we believe in the rebel leaders more and stuff, and where that would kind of lead us. So yeah, oh my god, we're gonna leave it there. So until next time, you guys, in this next episode, I guess we are not quite done in Eric's route yet, so see you next time. Bye.